7 out of 10 already.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, it's like much like last year, we got like a whirlwind whole week of announcements.
Well, hopefully they don't do exactly what they did last year, where they give us the week of original house announcements. And then it's like, well, you guys have to wait 2 months for the remainder of our announcements.
And we're just kind of like, oh yeah, by the way, these are also going to be there.
And it's like, well, yeah, we knew about those because it's impossible for you guys to keep any secrets. Yeah. A 7 out of 10 for this point, this early on in the year is surprising. At least, for my memory of what these announcements are typically like. But what I will say is that every year so far, there have been with Horror Nights, Halloween Horror Nights houses, specifically the original houses, the ones that they've created. There has been like a sliding scale of very excited to last year, the one that I was the most excited for was the Doll's House, which I ended up liking quite a bit. The one that I was kind of tepid on, like didn't really care too much, was, Grave of Flesh, which kind of ended up holding true. I do the house, but it wasn't the one that I was the most excited for. This one doesn't have that for me this year. Yeah. They all seem like they're going to be great.
Yeah. Like really solid lineup.
But there isn't one that's pulled my attention in that. And it's probably because they all on their face seem fairly interesting.
Yeah.
I'd say if there's one that's the most interesting for me, it's probably Jack and Oddfellow, just because there is so much weight to that.
Yeah, and I have a similar thing with the 4 that just got announced this past week.
Yeah.
Because I believe the first of those 4 was HR Blood and Guts Presents a Halloween Frightacular.
Now, as we all know, HR Blood and Guts is a parody of the hilarious character HR Puffinstuff.
Right.
Which is not a real fact. I've made that up.
Right. But that's the play on the name. And then he is also a parody of people like
Sven Gulli
and he's a horror host, and he has a history. They've done a house of his before. And so this is kind of his triumphant return. They had mention of him, or maybe one room of his recreated in the Welcome to Scary house at 30. So I'm very interested to see what they do here, because I really enjoyed that house way back in the day with HR Blood and Guts. It's one of those houses where kind of like the Slaughter Cinema, where like each room is its own little thing.
Or like, what is it? I think the 30th anniversary, they did the Case Files house, which was all like a bunch of different venues. I like houses like that.
I tend to like an anthology house.
Yeah.
It's just something about it.
Yeah. It's like however many houses in one.
Exactly. You get a little taste.
Yeah.
They
you walk around and you lick it.
Yeah.
The walls.
Yeah. When you want to see what's real.
I won't lick the spider one, though. No. There's like a spider one. I won't lick it.
It's a hard no for me. Then you get things like Madlands Caged Cannibals. Well, I read apparently about a defunct zoo in the future, where then like roaming gangs have taken over and have taken on some of the characteristics of said animals.
It reminds me in this weird way of Fallout 4.
Okay.
In Fallout 4's DLC, which is based around Disney World, it is Nuka World. And you get to kind of, basically Nuka World has fallen to roving gangs of raiders that have all kind of decided to work together to take over this mountain of theme parkness. But there is one that's like a section within Nuka World that's like the zoo, like the Animal Kingdom area. And so they have these little sub-factions that have like become like animal tribes. And like you have like the gorillas that are all like in these furs.
It's just gorillas.
It's just Clint Eastwood, you bastard. But it's just a bunch of... That's what it reminds me of, because the description is like, basically in the apocalypse, a bunch of cannibals moved into a zoo, and now you are in the zoo, and it's like, don't stick your face next to the cage, or the chimps will tear it off.
Yeah, I'd be afraid of that.
I am afraid of that right now.
You have Cybergoria.
which I'm very excited because this is my Captain America. Like, I understand that reference because that was Slaughter Cinema 2. They did like kind of the
because I feel like it's going to be something like that. I think it's going to be, what was that Scare Zone? I think like the first year that you went, that was in the New York area.
Yeah, it was like something. I keep wanting to say March of the Machine, but I know that's wrong. But it was something like that.
Yeah. So I feel like it's going to fall somewhere in there.
That's cool.
If, with no actual knowledge of what this thing is going to be. But basically, thousands of years in the future, a Cold War driven by machines. And then one that I'm very interested in because, I don't know, just sounds cool. Invasion, alien abduction, because alien horror has always been very interesting to me. They've done like aliens as a scare zone before.
Yeah.
And then we've kind of picked up again in some of the later years. But they have said that this is completely original. It's not like taking that zone and making it a house, which they've done in the past. This is going to be its own thing.
The Terror Queen's not going to be there?
No.
How surprised? Was she going to be in her year?
Well, I mean, originally,
but then, it's whatever. Yeah. Let me ask a question to the audience here, because you and I, and this is because I'm very excited about it. Well, okay, before we go too far away from that, which of those would you say is the one that, including Jack and, because we've already talked about Jack and Oddfellow, but of the 5 of the original houses, is there one that speaks to you that you're probably the most excited for?
If not Jack, then Blood and Guts.
I would agree with that. The 3 others, it's not that they're too generic, because I think there is with a horror event like this, I think there is something that is perfectly fine with generic. I think generic, you have the most room to stretch your legs and do interesting things. So
and so many fears are like they live in that sort of baseline,
right? So it's not anything bad, but I would say that Blood and Guts and Jack and Oddfellow have the more vibrant descriptions.
Yeah.
So I'd agree with that. Now the faraway question. This is something that you and I discussed while we were helping our good friend Dylan move.
Right.
We had talked about, you and I were talking about the different, Terror Queen reminded me of this, the different years where they've gone, we're going to do this. This is our theme. This is what we're doing. And then the last minute, they're like, oh no, we're not going to do that. The most infamous version of that is Eddie, Jack's chainsaw wielding psycho brother, which is why, I thought about this as kind of on theme for today's episode. Then they were going to have him be the host. He's a maniac. He's bloodthirsty. He's got a chainsaw. He's going to hack you up. And then that was kind of canceled. His appearance was kind of canceled. And very famously, it was canceled because of 9/11. So my question to the audience at home is, what do you think that's proportionate to a terror attack that destroyed the World Trade Center, that the cannibal psycho with the chainsaw? Did they think that he did it? Did they know something that we don't know? Did George Bush and Eddie do 9/11? That's the sound of the third channel chainsaw podcast Massacre,
where we delve into the horror franchises you love from the perspectives of a lifelong horror fan.
I've never broken on one of these. And a newbie to the genre. I'm PJ.
And I'm Derek.
And today, the only thing I got to do the announcer voice from the beginning of the movie.
Oh, yeah.
And today, the only, whatever. We're here to talk about horror, like we do every day. Today's horror, arguably one of the most famous and important horror films of all time.
Some might call it the most important and the greatest.
It is like this wrestles with John Carpenter's Halloween for primacy of what is the horror movie? What is the horror franchise?
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're here to talk about. Now, it's important because the naming convention of this franchise is absolutely butt-fucked. We're here to talk about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, and if you want to get 3D, if you want to get even more granular about it, it's the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah,
even though the word chainsaw is one word.
Tobe Hooper is very good at making a movie in rural Texas in the summer on a shoestring budget. He is not good at words.
All right.
Okay. And he's also not good at making Poltergeist exclusively on his own.
Yeah, that's an argument.
Yeah.
That a lot of people have made.
But who cares about that? We're not here to talk about Tobe Hooper's movie that I don't like, which is Poltergeist. We're here to talk about the one that I very much like.
Yeah, same. It's one of the... it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's also one of the and we go back to this conversation quite a bit. It is one of the Mount Rushmores.
Yep.
It is of the big. I consider the big four, the sort of Hollywood horror four of Michael, Jason, Freddy, and Leatherface.
Absolutely.
Man, I think in a realistic sense, Leatherface is probably the most frightening of them all.
Yeah, because it's. As much as, Michael seems like, oh yeah, somebody could happen. Somebody could snap and just do that. This is like, no, people have done this.
People have done it. They still do it. There are, you hear tale of like in the mountains in Appalachia, you hear the tale of like the night screamers, that they're just voices screaming in the night. And people are like, well, no, don't go over there. And it's like, why do you live there? Live in a place where you can plug a phone charger into an outlet all the time.
Yeah, out there, you got to like hope that you plug it into a rock and that works somehow.
The pioneers used to charge these babies for miles. The first thing that we have to do, as we are now officially a podcast because we have a Patreon, is we have to shout out one of our subscribers, our new subscribers for our Patreon. Derek, would you like to name our lucky Patreon subscriber that we're shouting out?
Yes. So this week we were shouting out our friend, I hope we can call him a friend, Tim Von Clote.
Yes.
You know him, you love him. We've talked about him before. He goes by TV Artworks on Instagram. You should give him a follow. He was just working on a awesome Kermit the Frog as Dracula, if I'm not mistaken.
Fantastic. Fans of the show will know that Derek and I love the fucking Muppets.
We really do.
We love the Muppets.
But yeah, we want to thank him. He signed up as one of the Bug-filled Jack-o'-lantern tier on our Patreon, which means he has gotten to listen to the our Sinners discussion that we had with Ty, producer Ty. And he, if you'll recall, PJ, you and Tim here.
Yeah, we're Bucky Boys for life.
Absolutely.
Yeah. He sent us an Instagram message not that long ago and was like, Bucky Boys, roll out. Now, I didn't know where he wanted me to go, but I left the house.
Yeah, he was gone for hours.
I left for hours. But Tim, our newest subscriber to Patreon, Tim, you scare the fuck out of us. Yep. And you make our show possible. So thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you very much.
We're going to keep hawking this, at least in the beginning of Patreon's existence. Please, folks, if you have the ability and you want a little bit more content from your local horror hosts, the Third Channel Podcast, please consider subscribing to our Patreon, where, as it stands right now, you'll get access to our Discord, and you will get a free monthly episode for June, which will be the review that you and Ty did, Derek, for Nope. All of our subscribers at any tier will get that.
Even the free tier.
Free tier. But if you subscribe to our first paid tier, you get access to our June paid episode, which is on 16-time Oscar-nominated film Sinners.
Correct.
That we had with Ty. It was a really good discussion. Yeah, I always love having Ty in these. I mean, he is our third Beatle. He is very much a part of the show like we are, but I like having him on a mic because he's filled with opinions and views of these things that I wouldn't come to.
Yeah.
And so,
after last week's episode, after you had given him the edit notes and stuff, he was working on getting it, cut and uploaded. He was like, man, Event Horizon actually sounds like something I would have watched just on my own.
Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing is that you do get access to our Discord where you can talk to us at any point. We both have it on our phones. And so the big thing is if you have things that you want to talk to us about with the movies, but you want our direct feedback, give us a shout. Let us know. But that does require you to, at the very least, join Patreon for the free subscription. So that's Patreon. That's Tim Clote and his Bucky boy ass. I think we're just about ready to begin the preliminary discussion with, and this might be almost impossible for you to answer. But Derek, do you remember the first time you watched the original, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
I was
just a lad,
probably too young to see this movie.
Your parents were like, "Are there breasts in it?" You were like, "I don't think so," and they were like, "Oh, then that's fine."
I couldn't tell you the exact time. This is definitely one where a franchise that I feel like I was really introduced to and got to watch at least the first few entries with my friend Nathan, who has done our show artwork.
Yeah.
He is someone who introduced me to a lot of different horror movies because he could get his hands on them whenever I couldn't. And so Texas Chainsaw and Texas Chainsaw 2 certainly watched with Nathan for the first time. And it's a life-changing event.
Yeah.
Seeing this movie. Was it similar for you, even this much later in life?
That it changed my life? Yeah, it did. And I'll explain. The first time I saw this movie with you, to the surprise of no one, was just a couple years ago with you in my apartment sitting on a couch. And we watched it. And I think it changed my, not my life, but I think it changed my perspective on horror a little bit. Because, you start with Scream and Halloween, and then Evil Dead with Evil Dead Rise really pushed the envelope in a visually horrifying way. But even that, once you get down into the dirt with Texas Chainsaw, it recontextualizes the genre. At least it did for me. Yeah. Because it's this isn't based on some neighborhood tale. This isn't your final girl isn't someone that outsmarts or is more capable than. It is your villain isn't plotting or malevolent or some dark force or a nightmare creature or even Jason, who's just a big dumb Frankenstein, but is impossible to stop. It is that these are people just dumb, and it almost doesn't seem like they mean any harm. They're just doing what comes natural to them. Right. And it's their warped view of humanity. And it is probably the best, most easy to sell, just portrayal of genuine insanity. And because it haunts you. It's we talked about this after we watched this, our rewatch of Texas Chainsaw, where we finished it and it was we just watched all the Hellraisers. We watched this, we watched that. We watched all these horror movies all the time. And this movie, for as old as it is, still fucks me up. Because it's scary shit. It's, the nomenclature is hillbilly horror. Yep. And love it. It is. And it's you watch House of a Thousand Corpses and which I think everybody would agree pulls heavily from this movie. The whole Firefly trilogy pulls so heavily from the Sawyers of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But it's I don't know, dude. It is so uncomfortable. It feels, even now, it feels dangerous to watch this movie. It feels dangerous. It feels it gives you a sense of paranoia about the world outside, because it's oh, well, who is like this out there? Yeah. It's also just fucking gross. Yeah. It gets under your skin. Yeah. You want a shower afterwards. You want to bleach you want to bleach your fingers right off. Yeah. So that they don't, I guess, cut them off and eat them. Yeah. Which is a real fear. It's a real fear that they might get cut off and eaten with a chainsaw. And of course, the film, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I gotta get better at that. Or I don't.
Yeah.
You guys let us know. Do you like the fact that I fucking suck at segues now? I'm good at riding a Segway.
Yeah, he's great at that. He's never ridden it off of like a cliff.
No, never. I'm still alive. And I'm very, very sexy while I do my stupid little dippy bob turns where I look like the little bird on the desk. I'm great. I'm great. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Fuck you guys. Who will survive and what will be left of them?
Oh, I love that tagline.
5 friends head out to rural Texas to visit the grave of a grandfather. On the way, they stumble across what appears to be a deserted house, only to discover something sinister within, something armed with a chainsaw.
Huh.
It was The Thing from John Carpenter's The Thing.
Wow.
It had a chainsaw. Well, imagine that. Oh, God. Imagine if the dog like split open and there's all like the weird little feely things and it's like pulling other dogs in it. And then you just hear like, and they're like, is that a fucking, what the fuck? And it's got like an M16. It's just firing rounds in the air. Fucking child is like, no. I'm leaving. I have to go be the arbiter.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was released October 11th of 1974. It's directed by Tobe Hooper.
The reason I know it's 74 is because the amount of times I have mistaken 1974, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, to have been the release date of 1978's John Carpenter's Halloween. Because I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right.
Which is why in the beginning of this show, I don't say, and I'm the expert. I say, I don't know what the fuck. We're going to change the intro.
Yeah.
And I'm PJ. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
That's good.
Good.
It rolls off the tongue.
You scare the fuck out of us.
It is written by Kim Henkel and Tobe Hooper. It's also produced by Tobe Hooper. He gets a lot of credits on this movie. It's almost like it was an independent film.
It looks like he shot it with the biggest camera you've ever seen in the back of that van.
The cinematography is done by Daniel Pearl, who would later shoot Invaders from Mars in 86, Return to Salem's Lot in 87, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre in 03. So he returns for that, which is cool. Not as cool. Alien versus Predator Requiem.
Oh, God.
But he returns he comes back in a positive way in Friday the 13th, the 09 remake.
Oh, okay.
I like that movie a lot.
So you know what happened in between? During Requiem, he realized that the cataracts were so severe that he was like, wait, is everything as dark as it seems? Like, they're like, yeah. And it's like, well, we can't fix that now. But then he gets LASIK and he comes back and he does Friday the 13th. They're like, this is beautiful. And he's like, yeah, modern miracle of science in 09.
He also, like a lot of cinematographers, did a lot of music videos. So he shot things for The Police, Every Breath You Take. He did Dancing with Myself by Billy Idol. He did, for U2, he shot Pride in the Name of Love, as well as a couple others. The Bye 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 video for NSYNC. And most importantly, he shot the music video for Ray Parker Jr.'s Ghostbusters.
I think Ray Parker Jr. made one thing very clear. That he is not afraid of ghosts.
I think he made a second thing very clear.
Oh, that busted makes him feel
yes.
good. Yeah.
That it does.
Folks, leave a comment. Leave a comment if busting makes you feel good.
It is edited by Sally Richardson, who was a production assistant on Eggshells, which is a Tobe Hooper film from 71. It's also edited by Larry Carroll, who also edited Massacre at Central in 76, Dracula's Dog in 77.
What the fuck?
The Hills Have Eyes, also in 77. A movie called Roar in 1981.
Is that the fucking Lions
That's
one?
the Lion movie.
Oh, God. Oh, God.
And then he's also the writer-producer on Tourist Trap from 1979.
Okay.
I really like that movie.
Is that the one that was kind of James McAvoy later? Is that it was like a Swedish movie?
Oh, no.
Okay.
That's See No Evil, Hear No Evil.
Oh,
one of
yeah,
those.
yeah. The famous line, "Why are you doing this? Because you let us."
Yeah, basically.
Did you see that? Was that
I
good?
liked that movie. The original version, which only came out like a couple years prior, is one of the bleakest fucking movies I've seen in a long time.
And that's saying something.
And then, because I only watched depressing shit.
Yeah.
And then the McAvoy version was also really good. I enjoyed it a great deal. They changed enough of the story to kind of keep you on your toes if you've seen the original. But it doesn't hit exactly the same way.
Okay.
But I don't think you could.
No.
The budget for this movie, $80,000 to $140,000.
So half of Halloween's budget. At its most conservative value, half of Halloween's budget.
Sure. I can't remember Halloween's budget. But
300. I think it's 300,000.
But then the box office for this one is $30.9 million.
Jesus Christ.
On that amount. And yeah, you're correct on Halloween.
Okay. I remember that number because it's almost close to $500,000. But then, you get reports for oh yeah, an Obsession only costs $29 million. Yeah. And it's oh, that doesn't seem like a lot because of fucking inflation.
But yeah, this movie sold over 16.5 million tickets in the year 1974. It was the biggest grossing independent film until Halloween in 78, 4 years later.
Yeah, that's fucking crazy. That many people at a time like 74 were you know what we should watch? The most horrific, revolting, frightening thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was just part of the zeitgeist,
Fucking Texas, man. Everything's bigger, including ticket sales.
That's good.
Thanks.
Texas Chainsaw Massacre is credited along with Black Christmas with originating several elements common in the slasher genre. It's things we've talked about before, but things like the use of power tools as murder weapons, characterizations of the killer as a large hulking masked figure, and of course the idea of the final girl. In 2024, the film was selected for preservation in the United States National Film Registry by the Library of Congress as being, quote, culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
I would say it's all of those.
Yeah. But I just think that's cool that it made it.
Yeah, big time.
Director, writer, producer, and composer for this film, Tobe Hooper. I'm going to go over some of his stuff, and then we'll save the rest of it for next week because he was the director on a, experimental drama film, I believe, called Eggshells in 1969. He directed Eaten Alive in 76, which is a giant alligator movie starring Robert Englund.
Oh, cool.
He did Salem's Lot in 79. The TV, technically it's a miniseries, I guess. I think it ran for 2 to 3 episodes. The Funhouse from 1981. Poltergeist, like you mentioned, in 1982. Life Force, which I think is basically about space vampires from 1985.
Cool.
Invaders from Mars from 86, and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 from 1986. And then we'll cover the rest of his directorial films next week.
Sure.
Writer Kim Henkel was also the writer on Eaten Alive, The Unseen in 1980, Last Night at the Alamo from 1983, and something called Butcher Boys from 2012.
Do you think The Unseen was very popular, or do you think it went largely unseen?
Yes.
Was that funny?
It was.
Good. Thanks,
I'm
man.
laughing.
You weren't. That's why I asked.
I'm laughing on the inside. Most of my laughs are on the inside because I don't feel anything.
Prove it. Open up. Let me see him. That door squeaky noise was his butt. They don't know. They have to just believe that, I guess.
Theater of the mind. The other person who worked on the music was Wayne Bell, who also did the music for Eaten Alive, Last Night at the Alamo, Trespasses from 1986, and he would return for Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation in 94. The soundtrack contains no sounds from musical instruments, with the exception of some copyrighted music that they had the rights to, mostly just playing on the radio in different scenes. And then instead they use sounds like an animal might hear inside a slaughterhouse.
Awful.
Which, just sets you on edge. So the concept for this film arose in the early 1970s while Tobe Hooper was working as an assistant film director at the University of Texas at Austin and as a documentary cameraman. He had already developed a story involving elements of isolation, the woods, and darkness, and he credited the graphic coverage of violence by San Antonio news outlets as one inspiration for the film. And then he based other elements of the plot on the murderer Ed Gein, who had committed his crimes in the 1950s in Wisconsin. Parts of Ed Gein's crimes are also inspired elements for both Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho in 1960, as well as Buffalo Bill in The Silence of the Lambs from 91.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, a very quick recap. Ed Gein was a sex pervert psycho murderer who would cut people up and eat them, and he'd make furniture and shit out of their skin.
Not technically a serial killer, because I believe he only killed 2 women. And I think you have to get to 4 before you're considered serial.
I think the distinction is that to be a serial killer, there has to be a certain kind of person that you target. And I might be wrong, but I used to watch Criminal Minds with my mom.
Oh.
Shout out to my mom who likes Criminal Minds.
But will not listen to this show.
No. Rightly so.
Yeah, she shouldn't.
Just kidding. She's our Patreon subscriber next week, guys.
Oh, that would be amazing. Tobe Hooper has cited changes in the cultural and political landscape as central influences on this film. His intentional misinformation that the, quote, film you are about to see is true was in response to being lied to by the government about things that were going on all over the world. It reflected his skepticism against the Richard Nixon administration in the wake of things like Watergate, the 1973 oil crisis, the 1973 economic recession, the massacres and atrocities of the Vietnam War, all those things that were going on at the time.
Yep.
And then the, quote, lack of sentimentality and the brutality of things is what Cooper then noticed while watching the local news, whose graphic coverage was epitomized by, quote, showing brains spilled all over the road. And that led to his belief that man was the real monster here, just wearing a different face. So I put a literal mask on the monster in my film. And then the idea, and I've heard him give this example in interviews, is the idea of using a chainsaw as the murder weapon came to him while he was in a hardware section of a very busy store. And he's like standing in this crowd and he's like, man, I just want to get out of here. Like, what? How could I easily get out of this thing? And he looks over at the display of chainsaws and he's like, if I were to grab one of these and just rev it up, I could get the fuck out of here in no time. People would get out of my way.
Yeah. And then he was like, but what if I also used it to eat people? And somebody next to him was like, sir, you're saying everything out loud. And he's like, fuck, give me this chainsaw.
It's like, quick, write this down.
Mrs. Hinkle?
Yeah. No, I think Kim Hinkle is a man.
Is it really?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh, it is also probably wrong just then.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, whatever.
I could be way off base. Yeah, he is best known for. Yeah. Icelandic American actor Gunnar Hansen was selected for the role of Leatherface.
I'm excited for this because I get to do one of my favorite things with this franchise again, which it's been a little bit since I've been able to do, which is talk about masks.
Yes.
And my fascination with horror masks. And this is one of the best.
Yes, it is.
Because it's just people.
And you got multiple versions in this movie.
Yeah.
And most of the movies kind of.
You usually get 1 or 2 different looks every movie.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Is like the president is set with this one.
Yeah. But eventually you get to masks that look so bad, you wonder, who said yes to this?
Tobe Hooper allowed Gunnar Hansen to develop the Leatherface character as he saw fit under his supervision. Hansen had decided that Leatherface was mentally handicapped and had probably never learned to talk properly. And so he actually went to a school for the mentally handicapped and watched how they would move and kind of listen to how they talked and how they interacted with each other to get a feel for the character. He tried his best to make his portrayal as non-offensive as he could. And a lot of fans, I guess, over the years, including those who are mentally handicapped themselves, have said that he succeeded in that. It never feels like he's punching down. He's not making fun of.
It's an accurate portrayal to me of somebody who, might be mentally, mentally either like developmentally disabled or something. But to me, it always just comes off as this is somebody who is probably in their 30s, who has never set foot in any sort of educational building, has never been taught any real, like, the way that the Sawyers are all kind of behaving. It's like, well, yeah, it makes sense that this is how this person would be, especially if they're developmentally disabled.
But yeah, speaking of masks, Leatherface has 3 different masks in this film. He has the killing mask, the old lady mask, and the pretty woman mask, as they've kind of been dubbed. Gunnar Hansen has said that the reason he wore a mask, according to Tobe and Kim, was that the mask really determined his personality. So who he wanted to be that day determined what mask he put on. So when like Drayton comes home with Sally, Leatherface is wearing the old lady mask. He's wearing an apron, carrying a wooden spoon. He wants to be domestic, helpful in the kitchen. Whereas at dinner, he wears a different face. He wears the pretty woman mask, which has makeup. And that consists with a female wig and a black suit, as Leatherface is then dressing up for dinner, which is like an old, deep South tradition.
Yeah.
And then the killing mask is the skin mask that he wears while chasing and murdering people. Hansen later added, the idea of the mask is that there's no personality under that mask. That was the idea of talking with Tobe and Kim that they had come up with. And then when they created the character, he had said that he put on those masks to express himself because he himself can't do it with words.
Because you mix that with the abject insanity of his family.
Yeah.
And it is just a stew of horribly misconceived survival elements. Because, I mean, they give reasons for what they're doing, but they make no fucking sense.
Right.
Oh, man. It's so fucking scary because he's almost sympathetic. Leatherface.
Yeah, there's one scene in particular where you're like, man, I know we just witnessed him do horrible, horrible things.
And like credit to Gunnar Hansen because it's like he picks a young woman up and without hesitating at all treats her like cattle and puts her on a fucking hook. And then 5 seconds later, you're like, no, chin up, bud. Like, you're okay.
It's okay. I get
Don't
it.
lick your tiny, weird little teeth. You're okay. Get some bigger teeth.
Yeah.
There's plenty of teeth lying around.
That's true.
Yeah.
Got so many.
So many teeth.
There's one on the porch.
Ugh.
The Texas Chainsaw Massacre was shot mainly with a 16mm camera with a fine-grain, low-speed film. Required considerably more light than modern digital cameras or most film stocks of the day. But this allowed them more mobility and cost savings after, overshooting on a standard theatrical 35mm format at the time, without hugely sacrificing any image quality. But it also, I think, gives the film a very handheld sort of run and gun look, very much reflecting the kind of Vietnam news footage that was being, shown on TV every night.
Because it doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look good. It looks gross.
Yeah.
It looks aged.
Yeah.
And I think that's to the movie's benefit.
Oh, absolutely. The primary filming location was in an early 1900s farmhouse located on Quick Hill Road near Round Rock, Texas. The crew filmed 7 days a week, up to 16 hours a day. The environment, as you could imagine, was very hot, and the cast and crew found those conditions very tough. Temperatures peaked at around 110 degrees on July 26th. Hansen later recalled it was 95 to 100 degrees every day during filming. They wouldn't wash my costume because they were worried that the laundry might lose it or that it would change color, and they didn't have enough money for a second costume. So I wore that mask 12 to 16 hours a day, 7 days a week for a month straight.
That is disgusting.
Yeah. That's how, most of their costumes are kind of done that way because it was just like, don't screw them up.
Yeah, we can't afford to replace them.
They just have to be what they are. Most of the filming took place in the farmhouse, which was then filled with, furniture constructed from animal bones and latex material used as upholstery to give the appearance of human skin. The house was not cooled, very little ventilation there. And then the crew covered its walls with drops of animal blood that they had obtained from a local slaughterhouse. Art director Robert A. Burns drove around the countryside in Texas and collected the remains of cattle and other animals in various stages of decomposition, which he then littered the floors of the house with as set decoration. The special effects were very simple and limited due to the budget. And so some of the on-screen blood was actually real in some cases, such as the scene where Leatherface feeds Grandpa. They apparently had a hard time getting the stage blood to actually come out of the tube that was on the the scalpel or the razor that they were using to cut Sally's finger. And so at some point, Gunnar Hansen literally just takes it and cuts her finger, from what I have read.
Yeah.
He also has stated that most of them during that scene, that whole sequence was shot, just nonstop for hours and over an entire day. And by all accounts was a living hell.
Yeah.
And so they had pretty much lost their minds by the end of it. And so that he just wanted to get it done.
Yeah, this movie is like a heat stroke, many hours for many days length equivalent of the director of The Exorcist yanking that poor woman as hard as he did. Yeah. It's like, no, it'll look better. And it's like, you're killing us.
Yeah, that's a good pull.
I'm laughing on the inside. And the outside.
Sorry, you set me up for that one.
Oh, that was so good.
Marilyn Burns, her costume was so drenched with stage blood, apparently, that it was virtually solid by the last day of shooting.
That reminds me of Evil Dead.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bruce Campbell had to crack his shirt back open.
The scene in which Leatherface dismembers Kirk with a chainsaw really worried the actor William Vale. And apparently after telling Vale to stay still lest he actually be killed, Hansen brought the chainsaw running then to within like 3 inches of Vale's face. They used a real hammer during the scene where Grandpa's trying to, brain Sally.
Yeah.
The actor of Grandpa was actually, was obviously aiming for the floor instead of her. And then, but still, try as they might, due to all of this, the shoot was very, dangerous. Tobe Hooper has noted that at the wrap party, all the cast members had obtained some level of injury. And he stated that, quote, everyone hated me by the end of the production. It took years for them to finally cool off. And then finally, surprising no one, this film is one of the least, well, actually, no, probably surprising most people. Because I think when you think of this movie, you must think like, oh, especially with what I just, read, was like, it's got to be one of the most bloody, disgusting, horror, like movies ever.
Yeah, no, not really.
And not really. Like it's one of the least bloody horror films of all time. They really kept the violence to pretty moderate.
It's just what it suggests.
Exactly. Language is mild, no nudity in this, having a lot of the horror kind of implied off screen rather than showing it. And so still, it was given originally it was given an X rating. So after several minutes were then cut, it was resubmitted to the MPAA, received an R rating. There was a distributor that restored the offending material, and at least one theater presented the full version under an R. Apparently in San Francisco, cinema goers walked out of theaters in disgust. And in February of 1976, there were 2 theaters in Ottawa, Canada, where I guess after showing it that way, they were advised by local police to withdraw the film so that they wouldn't face morality charges. That's what I mean by like, it feels dangerous to watch this movie.
Morality charges is a strange, I guess it's a Canadian thing?
Maybe.
The Canadian MPAA massacre. That's what the M in MPAA stands for, massacre. And then the P is like pornographic. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know what Alcoholics Anonymous.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's probably what you'd call it after they had to slash this film to ribbons just to get an R rating.
Now the question is, what do they use to slash it up with? My guess would be,
I think we just picked up Dracula.
Where you headed, man?
South? You work at that place? Oh, no.
How did you get stuck way out here?
I was at the slaughterhouse. I got an uncle that works at the slaughterhouse.
Hey, my brother worked there. My grandfather, too. My family's always been in me.
A whole family of Draculas. Hey, man, did you go in that slaughter room or whatever they call it? The place where they shoot the cattle in the head with that big air gun thing.
Oh, that gun's no good.
I was in there once with my uncle.
No way. With a sledge. See, that was better. They died better that way.
How come? I thought the gun was better.
Oh, no. With the new way people put out of jobs.
You do that?
Look.
I do not like Franklin.
What?
I do not care for Franklin.
Do you like him in a van?
I do not like that stupid man.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like Franklin. Franklin is famously like the barometer that people use to measure shitty, stupid, like tertiary horror characters that are annoying.
I would agree.
Holy fuck, I hate Franklin.
Yeah.
He's the worst part of the movie. And I don't just mean the character. The actor is also obnoxious. Like,
Yeah.
I get that his performance is to be like a shitty, like poo-poo shit face the whole movie, but like it's too much.
Yeah. Apparently he was very method in his acting.
Oh,
and so like
God.
everyone on set hated him.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
I hate him. And that there's no way that guy's still alive. Leave us a comment if Franklin's actor is still alive or if Derek wants to Google it. One way or the other, we'll all find out.
Yeah, we'll figure
point.
it out. What I was going to say with that clip is that one, we're certainly going to get flagged somewhere because it's got music playing in the background that's like an actual song.
Yeah.
And then, but two, our other options were either Sally screaming for a minute straight or chainsaw noises for a minute straight.
I think that like, okay, so for example, if YouTube flags it, because I don't think Spotify is going to care. But
No,
if
it's always YouTube.
Yeah, but if YouTube flags it and copyrights us, we'll cut it again. And that minute some odd section will just fill in with chainsaw sounds and Sally screaming, but overlapped.
Yeah.
Maybe some saxophone. Who knows? If you guys heard that, it's because YouTube fucking sucks. They'll let animal abuse videos stay up on their platform the whole time, but not some banjo playing. The other thing that's happened is I realized that over the years, you and I have done this thing where we have compounded misremembering so many times.
Yeah.
Franklin saying like, you go to that old slaughterhouse?
Yeah. Right before this clip that we played, he says it, that they have a reaction. It's like, oh my God, what is that smell? And he turns around and goes, oh, well, it's the old slaughterhouse.
But for some reason, you and I remember it vastly different. And we quote it all the time. And I'll go ahead and just do it for our audience. Every time you and I say the old slaughterhouse, we go, the old slaughterhouse. And I don't know why.
Yeah. It has slowly grown to that.
Yeah. And it's bad.
Yeah. But it's hilarious.
Oh, it's funny.
And we say it on a daily basis.
Say what?
The old GD slaughterhouse. You know.
Yeah, it's the slaughterhouse, it's the glory hole, it's whatever it is. You know?
It's probably those things that are warped in my brain. I love the as much as we hate Franklin, I love the opening like crawl for this film.
It's spooky.
It is. They did it before Star Wars.
Texas Chainsaw GD Slaughterhouse.
It introduced me to two amazing words that I didn't know until this crawl, I think.
Okay.
Macabre.
Ooh.
Love it. Doesn't sound like it's spelled, which is always interesting.
Yeah. Macabre.
And then the word annals. As in
also doesn't sound like it's spelled.
No.
But that one's silly.
Do you know who does the narration for this?
No.
John Larroquette, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He is most famously in Night Court. He performed the opening narration here, and he did it as a favor to Tobe Hooper, and he was apparently paid in marijuana.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a real friend.
But yeah, we get, I just think it sets the stage, like we said before, of like Tobe kind of pulling a fast one on the audience of like, no, this is based on true events. And this is like the closest we can come to kind of showing you what those kids probably went through.
Yeah. I love the footage that's used kind of in conjunction with the narration of this grave robber, and then out front of all of these graves and these crypts are like these two half rotten, like moldering corpses that have been posed in like almost like a Titanic, like they're kind of holding each other. I just love the idea. And it's revealed later that it is the hitchhiker who is out doing all of that. And it's just like, is that their like very backwater, like, you know, twisted and degenerate? Is that their art?
I mean, we see it in their furniture.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would think so. But yeah, I love this, these flashes, like these flash bulbs, as if, police have come upon this crime scene, and we get this, very high pitched sound of like strings. And that's used in the marketing for it. It's used throughout the movie. Whenever something like bad happens, there's typically that string, that very tight sound.
See, the flash bulb as well made me think of the hitchhiker's camera, like he's out there taking photos of his work.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. And then we're hearing this whole thing as like a radio, report about these this cemetery that has been
Bamboozled.
Yeah. Several corpses have been either stolen or dug up and desecrated, but near Newt in Muerto County, Texas, which is then where our 5 teenagers are taking a road trip through the area. And let's just go ahead and get them all out of the way. Sally Hardesty is played by Marilyn Burns. She is in Helter Skelter, the 1976 miniseries about Charles Manson. She would be in Tobe Hooper's Eaten Alive. She's in something called Kiss Daddy Goodbye, which was an 81 horror film. She is in a sci-fi horror film from 84 called Future Kill, and she will return in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation in 94. She was also in Butcher Boys, a 2012 horror film, and she has a small part, I believe, in Texas Chainsaw or Texas Chainsaw 3D from 2013, however you want to call that. Jerry is, I believe, her boyfriend.
Wild looking guy.
Yes.
It's like there are 3 teenagers and a 48-year-old science teacher.
Right.
Played by Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Alan Danziger. He is also in Eggshells, directed by Tobe Hooper. Cannibal Comedian, a 2023 horror comedy. Storage Locker, a 2023 horror film. And then something called The Weed Hacker Massacre, a 2024 horror comedy.
Woof.
So yeah, not a whole lot of credits for Mr. Danziger. Pam is played by Terry McMinn. She was in The Cellar, a 2019 comedy, as well as Butcher Boys from 2012. Kirk is played by William Vale. He also appears in Poltergeist in 82. He is in Mausoleum, a 83 fantasy horror film, and then an 88 comedy called Glitch. Franklin Hardesty is played by Paul A. Partain.
Boo!
Boo this man. We're still, waiting for you to tell us if he's still alive or not.
Yeah, guys, come on.
He was in Race with the Devil, a 75 thriller, Rolling Thunder, a 77 thriller, and he also returns in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. But yes, this group, they stop at the cemetery to check on the grave of Sally and Franklin's grandfather, but it appears to be undisturbed.
Yes.
I love this little open because it's like we get a little bit of all the characters and kind of how their dynamics work because Pam is, reading horoscopes and talking about, Saturn being in Gatorade or whatever. And
that's so good.
And then, it's how the friend dynamics work. And like, okay, we're on this road trip and like, we're together, we're a couple, and these two are together and they're a couple. And then there's Franklin, and we're all having to put up with him.
Yeah, we listen to him say the stupidest shit, be angry and irascible for no reason. Yeah, he's just awful. Yeah. And he is the thorn in their collective sides.
And then, they just so happen, I guess, to hear this radio report and be like, oh, well, we should go. Like, our grandfather was buried there. We need to go check that out. And I'm always fascinated by these actors whenever they pull up because, like, the way that these people talk, they just seem like real people.
Yeah.
Like they just seem like people who were in the area, and Tobe was like, hey, do you mind coming over here and like saying this line? Yeah. And then they just give it. And then there's like this old drunk man who's like laying back in what looks like a tire on the ground.
Yeah.
And he's like laughing to himself. And then he gives, after everybody kind of walks away from the van for a second, except Franklin, who is, we haven't mentioned, in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So he's like, for this moment, stuck in the van. But this old man, this old drunk, is like laid back on the ground and he's laughing. And he's like, things happen hereabout that they don't tell about. I see things. You see, they say it's just an old man talking. You laugh at an old man. There's them that laughs and knows better. And it's the first of like two of what I feel like Cabin in the Woods gives us the harbinger character of like, hey, maybe you guys should turn around.
Now, if you had to come up with an example of that, that wasn't from this film, but was maybe from an equally famous horror franchise, maybe the first of the franchise, an older man,
right?
Sort of a crazy old man who is sort of giving a warning to our teenage survivors.
Yeah.
What name would you give him? And what do you think he would say about the place that the teenagers were headed to?
Man, his name is escaping me right now.
It's Crazy Ralph, and he goes, "There's a Discers."
Oh, that's right.
Oh, man. Felt good to dust off the old crap. I'm going to do it again. Discers. All right, there we go.
That was good.
Thanks.
I'm glad he visited.
Yeah, then this guy's like, ding, there's a Discers.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
The group continues on and they pass. This is where they smell the slaughterhouse before they see the slaughterhouse. And Franklin kind of recounts the, I guess, Hardesty family's history with their grandfather worked in a slaughterhouse. And they talk about the, using the sledgehammer versus the air gun with the bolt. And, how like sometimes they would have to, when they were using the hammer, the sledgehammer, it's like sometimes it wouldn't work. It wouldn't kill them on the first blow. So they would have to hit the cow multiple times to kill it, which is, spoilers, eventually what ends up happening with Kirk.
Yeah.
He gives Franklin gives the description of like, the animal kicking their legs and things like that.
Yeah. Which he is incapable of doing.
Yeah. But they also, some of the shots of whenever they mention the slaughterhouse itself is like, we get these, they almost look like documentary, like shots of this cattle, group of cattle.
It reminds me, and I know the reason it reminds me of this is because the person who directed the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie was a documentarian, but it reminds me a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
Just random cuts to things that are that
that opening sequence especially.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what it's always felt like. Because all of a sudden it's like, we're shooting from inside this van. It's all very like reverse shot of all these characters and everything. And then all of a sudden we're on the other side of the fence, just underneath the thing at the slaughterhouse. And it's like, did you guys get permits to shoot in here?
No.
Because I doubt it.
They just stopped driving really quick.
And
there is a man who is walking down the road and they're like, well, let's pick him up. I think at one point, Pam is like, well, yeah, he's going to like melt out, or he's going to asphyxiate out here.
I love the framing of the shot whenever they pick him up.
I hate the hitchhiker.
Okay.
I hate his guts.
Okay.
I hate him just as much as I hate Franklin. He's weird. I don't like a weird guy.
Oh.
You know what I mean? I don't like him. He's weird. He has a weird thing on his face, like a big weird red mark on his face.
Yeah, like a birthmark of some kind.
Yeah, and it only serves to make. You know what he is? He's very McPoyle. For those fans of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, which another Always Sunny in Philadelphia thing is going to get brought up at some point, which is, quote, "You haven't thought of the smell,
right?
You bitch," end quote. Dennis Reynolds. There is immediately something wrong with this character. The actor does such a good job of portraying like, oh yeah, no, this guy, it's like he can fake normal for a minute and then it falls to pieces.
Right.
It's so good.
The hitchhiker is played by Edwin Neal, who had done 103 episodes of Gotcha Man, which he I guess plays the character of Berg Kotze. I have no idea what that is.
Okay.
But he did the 84 sci-fi horror film Future Kill. He is also in My Boyfriend's Back, a dark comedy from 93. He appears in Butcher Boys from 2012, as well as Cannibal Comedian in 2023. And then I guess his other like big thing that he did is he is an English anime voice actor for like dubs of a bunch of anime that I've never heard of.
Weird.
So that is his other claim to fame.
Weird.
Very weird. I hear, even in that clip that we played, I hear Bill Moseley.
Big time.
His, like, where he got some of his chop top delivery from this.
Which is not supposed to be the same character.
They're not the same character. Obviously, at the end of this movie, spoilers, the hitchhiker
explodes into a billion pieces because he's hit by all 18 wheels of an 18-wheeler.
Right.
Spoilers. He gets smashed.
He doesn't have an actual like given name in this movie. He's just referred to as the hitchhiker or your brother or whatever. And later he's kind of given the name Nubbins because there's a character in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
Which is like a leathered, rotten corpse.
Right.
We'll get to
referred to as. And so it's like people have then put that on it of like, oh, well, maybe that's the hitchhiker.
He does three things. He talks about the fact that his family, and this is who is talking in our clip, Franklin calls him a Dracula.
Yeah.
And then later, after the hitchhiker references the fact that his family has worked in the slaughterhouse forever and ever and ever, Franklin says, quote, a whole family of Draculas. I hate him.
Yeah.
I do not like that Franklin, whatever, it doesn't matter. I don't like him.
Yeah.
Because what does that mean?
I think it's his way of saying like we've picked up a monster, but like in the most generic way ever. It's like, okay, growing up, did your mother call every video game you ever owned a Nintendo?
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Everything was a Nintendo, and every game, like our Game Boy, our PlayStation, everything was a Nintendo, and all the games were Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was true.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I've never played that. I don't know what that is. Now, Digimon.
Oh.
There we go.
But yeah, I like this kind of, the hitchhiker kind of reiterates a lot of the same points that Franklin made about the slaughterhouse and the difference between, using the sledgehammer and using the gun, and like their grandfathers, I should say, like both worked in a slaughterhouse or maybe the same slaughterhouse.
Maybe it's the same grandfather.
And so, yeah, it's like there's this weird connection between the two. And I don't know if that's done purposefully to show you like, hey, one slight change is all it takes for quote unquote normal people versus literal cannibals.
Yeah, it's the Joker. You're one bad day from being me.
Yeah.
Now, granted, the Joker is, so far as I know, the Joker does not eat people. He's a spooky clown and he murders. But I don't think he eats the people that he murders.
I don't believe so. He borrows a pocket knife from Franklin,
to which he cuts his hand open. He stigmatas himself like Christ,
as you are wont to do when you borrow someone's knife.
Yeah, because like that's what he does. He goes, "Can I see your knife?" And Franklin's like, "Yeah, sure." And then he cuts his hand open, like immediately. And it's like, and they're all like, "Oh, what the fuck is happening?"
Have you ever picked up a hitchhiker?
No.
Like, that's like, there's no way. There's no way, right?
No, fuck no. And it's not even because of this movie or movies in general. It's because but also these movies don't help.
No. Apparently, Edwin Neal had like so many police officers afterwards like thank him for his portrayal in this movie, because they were like, the amount of like hitchhiking incidents that have gone down, any sort of the amount of like violence happening on the roads has gone down hugely due to following this film.
That's good.
Yeah.
And this is horrible.
Yeah. This did for hitchhiking what Jaws would then do for
sharks.
Yeah.
And what E.T. would do for weird little sacky aliens running around healing people with their fingers.
Yeah.
You know what's funny about Ty? He hates both Jaws and E.T. because of his blood feud with Steven Spielberg.
Right.
Speaking of blood feud, the hitchhiker's like, look, I cut myself open. And Franklin's like, oh my God, please stop. And then he's like, fine, look, I have my own knife. And then he cuts Franklin. And Franklin's like,
in a moment. Yeah. Because first he takes this is where he takes a picture of him.
Yeah.
Because he has a Polaroid camera.
Like an old, tiny, like accordion collapsible camera.
Yeah. I like the little, like, he opens it up very slowly, very meticulously, and they all just kind of watch him because it's like we're now trapped in a moving vehicle
with a
this
man who just cut his hand open.
And we're just what is he gonna do next?
Right.
And then like his little like bouncing around trying to get a shot of them, and he like frames up one of them and frames up the other, and then he finally just like takes a picture of Franklin, and they're all just in shock of like what brought this on and what are we supposed to do about it? And then as soon as it is like printed out and he hands it over and he's like, yeah, it's a really good picture. You should give me $2 for that. You owe me money.
Yeah. It's like let me wash your windows.
Yep.
But it's just so unhinged. And this is like the early part of the story where it's like rewatching it. It's like, oh yeah, that's kind of funny. But it's like, it's only funny because it's compared to everything else.
Yes.
But this is, you have used a phrase that your mom uses and it's, you attract freaks like flypaper.
Yeah.
And there is just something reminiscent of that, of like the amount of times being in like, you know, Ybor City or like downtown or a place with like a lot of displaced kind of diaspora where they, you know, approach you. I used to live in Ybor.
Yeah.
And people would just kind of walk up onto your porch. And it's a lot of this sort of crazy, not insane, but like crazy, like so against the grain of what you expect that it's like the behavior, you just don't know what to do. Once you found yourself in one of these social situations, it's like, I don't know how to get out. So then to make matters worse, he's like, give me $2. And Franklin's like, no. And so he pulls like a razor. It's like a Sweeney Todd razor, like out of his boot. And he cuts Franklin. And then he opens the van door and like dives out of the van like, gotcha, bitch. And then he draws all over the van with blood. That's the other thing, is that the way his physicality makes me so angry. Like, it's something about like, I don't know. You are so, it seems like jovial in your movement while being so despicable that it's like, what a monster.
Yeah.
It's him, you know, running up to the van as it's pulling over to pick him up and then running and following it and slapping the van and kicking it and painting what we would find later as like a weird symbol on the van.
Yeah.
And it's just like, he's laughing his ass off and it's just so gross.
Yeah. That's, you know, it's the first of many little things that happen here. Because then, you know, they kick him out and they pull up because they're low on gas. So they pull up to this gas station and the owner comes out.
You pointed something out here to me, and it is so funny.
Uh-huh.
That the guy who owns the gas station, who's a big deal in this film, every time he comes out to talk to the kids, the man sitting on the stool with like a bucket of water and like a mop gets back up and starts cleaning the car again. And then when the guy goes back inside, he stops cleaning the car and he goes and sits back down. But when the owner comes back, it's like every time the owner's talking to them, he's like, oh, fuck. And he goes and he cleans the van again.
Yeah. That's his whole job.
Yeah.
And he knows that he's supposed to be doing it. And if the owner comes back, then he better start working again.
Well, if you've got time to lean, you have time to clean these strangers' van.
But the owner of this gas station is named Drayton Sawyer. I don't know if he's named in the film itself, but he is played by Jim Sydow, who was in The Wind Splitter, a drama from 1971. He is in Red Alert, a thriller from 1977, Hot Wire, an action comedy from 1980, and he returns, thankfully, to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 in 1986. This is our second Harbinger, if you will. If you're going by Cabin in the Wood rules, you know, he literally in this case is like, because Franklin, they stop for gas and he's like, we don't have any right now. There's, you know, gas crisis going on, what have you. My guy won't get here until later in the afternoon if you want to hang out. And then Franklin's like, hey, do you know where? And this is the strangest fucking thing when you break down what he's asking. Because he's like, do you know where the old Franklin house is? It was our grandfather's. He's like, oh, no. And he describes it. And he's like, oh, well, yeah, I think it would be up this way. But okay, if that's his grandfather, Sally and Franklin's grandfather, the old Franklin place is the last name. No, we know their name is Hardesty.
Maybe it's like a junior situation.
Okay.
Like maybe Franklin was named after this guy.
Okay, because otherwise it makes it sound like
his name is
Franklin.
Maybe it is. Maybe it's Franklin Jr.
Maybe.
Oh, dude, maybe his grandfather was the turtle.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And fucking the Sawyer's grandfather is Caillou.
Oh.
Battle of the PBS kids.
It's awful. Caillou was the worst. That's why they turned out the way that they did. It makes sense now.
Caillou eats people.
Yeah.
The Caillou Chainsaw Massacre.
But basically, like, Drayton is just like, you don't want to go up to this old house anyway. The girls certainly don't. You don't want to, like, he is just laying it out there of like, do not go looking for anything that you're looking for. And they're still just like, we're gonna.
Do you think it's like a guilt thing?
I don't know.
Is it like, I know if you end up over there, because they, the Sawyers share a property line. So it's like, I know where you're going. And if you end up there, like,
we're going to come get you.
Like, I don't want to be responsible for what happens to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it may. Like, he has those moments. There's a couple of them during the dinner scene where they're kind of explaining, like, in their way, like, that he's not a killer. He's like, I've never been one to kill.
Right.
And so he leaves that up to his sons, we have to assume.
Yeah, it's like the slaughterhouse of it all. It's, I don't take pride or joy in doing this, but we have to do this.
Yeah. And we find out that he is the cook. And so, that's the thing that he takes pride in.
Oh, yeah. By the way, guys, in case it's not abundantly clear, the Sawyer family kills and eats people.
What?
That's when they say they're having a barbecue. They are cooking and eating people.
Yeah.
I was going to make a joke, but there's no joke.
No,
they kill you, they chop you up, and they eat you.
And they, it's also their lifeblood, because not only are they eating you, but like Drayton sells barbecue, his famous barbecue, at his gas station here.
Yeah, it's like if Buc-ee's, Tim, Buc-ee's, they sell people.
Wow.
That's people meat.
I mean, they sell a lot of things there, so I wouldn't be that surprised.
Well, don't ask what the beaver nuggets are.
Yeah, don't ruin that for me.
They're puffed teeth.
Oh, God. That's worse than, I don't know what they could have been, but they're so good, though.
They're great.
But yeah, they don't follow his advice at all. And they go to a property nearby that is owned by the Hardesty family, regardless of whose family name is on it. Then it is just an abandoned 2-story building. Like, no doors, no windows.
Sally's like, oh yeah, this is the room that I used to sleep in. And it's like, how many centuries ago?
Right.
Like, this is the house I used to sleep in. And then the camera pans out and we find out that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre takes place in Hiroshima.
Yeah. Pretty much.
It's horrible. Yeah.
There's there's one point where Kirk like rounds a corner and there is this mass of like daddy long legs spiders up in the corner.
Do you like that scene?
I don't like it.
Me either.
I don't like it at all.
I don't like them because I don't mind spiders.
Is it the way that they're all piled on each other and pulsating?
It's the way
there's like a clicking noise.
Daddy long legs specifically bother me. And it's because they don't have the structural body of a spider that you can visibly see. They just look like a black circle with a bunch of, and I don't know. There's something weird about that.
Yeah. It's like the worst version of a soot sprite from a Ghibli movie.
Yeah, those things are so cute.
Yeah, not these though.
No, they're gross. Another thing that happens is Franklin is having a hard time getting into the house because obviously it is a ruin, so it's not wheelchair accessible.
This is where Franklin, to me, begins getting on my nerves, like for real. In the van, I could almost write it off as they've been driving for a long time. He's been stuck in this van, in this chair. It's hot. It is miserable in there. And then they make it here. And then it's the weird, childish bullshit.
The thing that begins it for me is when he is, they like kind of let him out of the van and roll him down this like makeshift ramp that they have so that he can pee. And it's like the little thing that I picked up of like, they're all sweating, they're all heaving him. And like, obviously he's a bigger guy. He weighs a lot. He's in a chair. It's probably hard to move him in and out of that van. And like, no, thank you. No, nothing. Just incredibly like put out by being helped, which is already kind of weird.
Yeah.
But then, oh man, it's the like he's blowing raspberries because he's calling for Sally to help him. Sally is 2 stories above him, I think.
Yeah.
Or at the very least, a story above him. He is not being super loud. She is laughing with her partner that she's there with. And he gets frustrated at the fact that no one has immediately come down to help him. So he's just sitting there blowing raspberries and spit is all over his face. And it is just like, my mother's a preschool teacher. I have seen tantrums like that, but to see it from a man, with obvious 5 o'clock shadow is just bizarre.
Yeah.
And it's off-putting.
Yeah, very much so. And so, yeah, that's where it really rubs me the wrong way here. Franklin at some point sees on the back porch, there's like a cushion with like animal bones and feathers and things. And then a wind chime that seems to be made out of bones as well. So it's like someone has been in this house and has been doing something.
Okay, that's interesting because that's not what I take from that.
Okay.
I took it as like the Sawyers seem so weirdly ritualistic. The blood marking on the van, the way that their furniture is all made of these creatures, like in the room in the Sawyer house where there's the chicken in the cage and that little, thing gets knocked and like feathers and ash and bones just go scattered everywhere. They seem to like almost worship death in its way. And to me, it was almost as though while they were in the house goofing off and partying, either the hitchhiker or someone had also been there to begin whatever ritual this would be. Because it seems so out of place.
Yeah.
As though it were just placed there.
Oh, gotcha. So you think it was recent?
Yeah, and maybe geographically I'm confused, but it also seems like the door that Franklin went in, he has now doubled back and is at that door again, and those things are now there where they were not there originally. Again,
okay.
I mean, be totally wrong. It's just what I've always taken from it.
Yeah, the way that I think of the geography of that house is that he comes in the front door and then he rolls into the next room where the stairs are on his left, and then he looks to the right and looks out the door there, like kind of the back side door, but I could be wrong as well.
I mean, either way, it's cool.
Yeah, yeah. And it's just one more thing of once they actually make it to the Sawyer house in a moment, you see all of the furniture and the lampshades and the other like wind chimes and things that are hung up.
On the classic red wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which to get us there, Kirk and Pam, they leave the others. They plan to go down to the old swimming hole.
Yeah.
They never say it like that.
They go, swimming day. I don't know why I pulled from Silent Night, Deadly Night, but that's what it is. Yeah, it's the same.
Same. But yeah, they go down there and it's like the old swimming hole is all dried up. And they find another house. They can hear like a generator running. They don't know it's a generator at the time, but then they make it over there and they find like it's surrounded by these like rundown cars that are like covered by like military nets and things.
It is that to me, this early on is the most haunting image in the entire movie. It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Because it's all like Beatles and like young people cars.
Yeah.
So how many times have they done this?
Exactly.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's
and
terrifying.
Like the amount of like, because part of it is you just kind of see like weird things hanging in the trees, like coffee mugs. But then there's also like a pocket watch that has a big nail through it. And like that's strung up in a tree for like decoration. And so part of that to me is like old, like I'll see things like that, even like here in Florida.
Yeah.
Like old, kind of more rural areas, you'll see that sort of like art, if you will, in people's yards. But then you find that where it's like, oh no, there's just a ton of cars that are purposefully being hidden.
Well, because it's that, but it's also, you know, you could forgive yourself for being tricked of like, oh yeah, they're just like pack rats. And there's like a bunch of broken down cars. Maybe they're going to fix them up or whatever. But then in the hindsight of the movie, when you watch it again, it's like, oh no, those are people that they cooked and ate.
Yep.
Those are the Buc-ee's victims. I think Buc-ee's got started in Texas, by the way.
Oh.
So, like, this isn't completely based.
We're on to something.
Let me tell you something. Tim and I will agree on this. Tim, I'm speaking for you. Tim and I will agree on this. If Buc-ee's does serve people, I'm still going to eat it.
Oh.
It's good. You ever have Buc-ee's, Derek?
No, just the beaver nuggets.
Dude, I'm bringing you back a brisket made out of people.
Right.
And if I test the meat from it and it's not made out of people, I'm a man of my word. I will commit a murder and I will chop it up and I will make a man out of you.
Wow.
By serving you man.
Yeah. Yeah. You are what you eat.
Oh, shit.
But yeah.
That I'm a bad podcast host.
No, I wouldn't say that.
No, I ate Will Arnett from the Smartless podcast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why they haven't been putting out episodes.
Yeah. And that's why Arrested Development got canceled, I guess.
I guess. But they discover that, that they got this big gas powered generator. And so they're like hoping to barter for gas. And so they go up and they knock on the door to no answer. And Kirk plays a little trick on Pam here. And she stalks off and she sits at a swing in the yard. And then Kirk does the wrong thing.
Captain Kirk boldly goes where no one should go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he lets himself into this house. He has made his presence known. He's called out.
He's like, hey, everyone, I'm made out of meat. In case anybody wants to talk to me.
I'm coming in here.
Hey, I'm a man made out of digestible material in case there's anyone who's unable to have a conversation with me because I can't speak. And then he gets chainsawed.
Yeah,
well, no, it is a horrible. And again, a lot of it's implied. The fucking swing and then the legs kicking.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, that's horrible.
The way that this scene plays out is it is so burned into my brain of like him, walking into the house and pausing and looking around. And there's like, it looks like animal fur, like used as wallpaper.
Yeah.
In this like foyer. And there is a door at the end of the hall that is open. And then it is just a taxidermy dream on the wall of all these different animal heads.
Like cattle skulls. And it's a bunch of skulls that are hung up against this vibrant red, like comic book Hellboy skin red.
Yeah. And then as he walks in, he trips up because there's this weird little wooden ramp that leads in there for some reason. And he trips on the lip of it. And as he does, like in a jump scare that isn't a jump scare moment, Leatherface, appears and there is no thought, there is no pause, there is no anything. It is just he strikes him down with his hammer, and then the spasming happens,
which means he's dead. By the way,
oh yeah,
like he is dead as a doornail. And his nervous system is firing its last shot. And then, but Pam makes it, right?
No,
Pam Beasley. She goes to Dunder Mifflin.
I don't know. There's just something about like how like from Leatherface perspective.
Yeah. You're minding your own business. You're presumably in the kitchen. You're doing gross, horrible.
Because you hear like pig noises, like pig squeals from the other room.
That was him.
It could be.
I mean, honestly, it could be. He makes similar noises, but.
And someone has come into your house. You do not know who this person is.
You're probably already holding a hammer.
And then like as you round this corner, finally coming out to investigate, like the calling out that you hear, like. He's not purposefully trying to do it, but he like that stumble forward that happens. It looks like, I mean, to him, it's like, oh, is this person rushing me right now? Like, are they like making a move? And so he just puts him down.
Oh, see, that's an interesting take about the stumble. To me, it's like no matter what he was doing, if he was cross-armed, cross-legged, floating like a genie, I think that fucking Leatherface would be like, wow, he's flying. And smash his fucking brains in.
Could be.
He then goes and grabs Pam.
Yeah, but I have to point out.
Oh, okay.
The greatest tracking shot of all time, especially for something this low budget.
Yeah.
Because you have this incredible shot. Pam is sitting on this porch and she stands up and the camera is behind her on the ground. And as she walks forward in these amazing red short shorts and this like tank top with no back.
Yeah, she looks great.
She's walking forward and the camera follows along, panning along behind her, like tracking along behind her, I should say. They only had, I think, like 40 feet of track to use.
Interesting.
Sometimes whenever they would do long shots, they would actually be literally like Wallace and Gromit, like taking the back section and moving it to the front, like as they moved along, just so they could get a longer shot. But the way that this camera goes underneath the swing and follows her at like this perfect pace, and the house is like huge in the background, and it just like as she moves toward it like almost envelops her with how large and encroaching the whole thing is as she then walks toward, she doesn't know it, her own death.
Yeah, because she gets in and she does the thing. Again, innocence is always immediately rewarded with horror in these movies. But she's like, Kirk, this isn't funny. Where are you? Again, going, hey, I'm made out of meat. If there's anybody who is incapable of empathizing with me in any way and only wants to eat my bones, and then fucking Leatherface just holding... God, is he holding Kirk at this point?
No, Kirk is still in the kitchen because she stumbles into the one side room where all the like the furniture is made of bones. There's a chicken hanging from the ceiling in a cage. But then when she tries to leave the house, Leatherface like rounds the corner and sees her, and she runs out the front door to where he then just follows her and grabs her and pulls her back in.
That's right.
Everybody's seen the gif of this. It's used for a bunch of different memes and jokes and things.
But he grabs her, and I hinted at this earlier. Oh God, we talk about that shirt that has nothing on the back. I don't know why, but that makes it worse to me. And he hangs her.
Well, because we've gotten so many shots so far of her bare back. We know it, visually in this movie. Yeah. Even as quickly as as far as we've only seen. So, but yeah, takes her into the kitchen. Yeah.
And hangs her unceremoniously from a meat hook. And she is screaming in pain. And is horrified by the horrible change to her quality of life here in the last few minutes. And she's hanging from this hook and now is having to watch as Kirk gets, disseminated with this chainsaw. And then the movie just cuts back to peace and quiet. And it's like, oh God.
Yeah. Cause then we're around sunset. A little bit of time has passed probably.
Oh God. And Paul is it Paul? No. Jerry. Okay. Yeah. Jerry is spending his time now as Franklin, paranoid, is wondering where Pam and Kirk have gone. Doing this hilarious thing.
Oh, it is hilarious.
Where he is just making fun of Franklin nonstop.
It's like Franklin's sitting there like, well, you think they're going to come back for us? You think they're going to... I mean, you don't think he's mad at me because I wouldn't pay him for the the picture or because I did this or that.
And he's just like, no, yeah, he is going to come back and he's going to kill you, you fat fuck. He's going to murder you, you loathsome piece of shit. Look out. He's behind you. I got you, dumbass. And he's just not like that, but it's close. He's just being this horrible bully.
Yeah.
Sally, by the way, I think says one thing. And she's like, stop. And he's like, no, fuck you, Franklin. And then she doesn't say anything else because she wants to do it too.
Yeah. To me is just very much like, yeah, that is this friend group who has had to put up with Franklin for however long. But Jerry ends up going to try and find Pam and Kirk. And as he enters the house the same way, he goes in the front door, he makes it into the kitchen, and he hears noise coming from like this like freezer and like a chest freezer. And from out of there, Pam, like, I don't know if it's her body is just like spasming or
no, I think she's still alive.
Like, yeah, she's just been stuffed
like
into
taken
this
off
freezer.
the hook and shoved into the fridge. Yeah. And like she's almost gone because like her skin and everything is like like the fucking what is it, cold miser blue. Yeah.
And so yeah, he is like Leatherface bursts in and kills Jerry and like shoves Pam's body back into the freezer. And then this is where like immediately after that, like he seems so distraught by this whole thing. He runs into the front room. He's like looking out at the sunset, like out into the front yard, like he is. One, he's got to be confused because every time he turns around, some new person who he does not know has entered his house.
It reminds me of like the times in life where you get like a bad pest infestation. And every time you turn around, like if you're a Florida native, you know, we get like roaches and ants and shit. And it's like, oh my God, I've killed like 15 of these fucking things today. Leatherface is just like, how many more weird college kids am I going to have to bash with a goddamn hammer today? By the way, the answer's 2 more.
At least 2 more.
But he doesn't use the hammer.
Yeah.
He puts the chain in Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think this moment is just an interesting little character moment for a character we don't get.
It's like I said, it's a surprisingly tragic tale for this character
in a weird way.
And then immediately it isn't again.
Right.
Because immediately he's out in the woods with a revved chainsaw chasing 2 characters to their death.
Leatherface, as we've said, is played by Gunnar Hansen. He is in The Demon Lover, a horror film from '76. He's in Hollywood Chainsaw Hookers, a B horror film from 1988. He's in another B horror film from '94 called Mosquito. He's in Replicator.
What the fuck?
Which was on a Best of the Worst episode, Christmas or Crocodile. He is in Texas Chainsaw 3D. He's in a movie called Death House from 2017, which also stars Bill Moseley, Tony Todd, Adrian Barbeau, Kane Hodder, Dee Wallace, Barbara Crampton, Michael Berryman, Sid Haig, and Felissa Rose.
We have to have talked about this in a previous movie because I remember being like, this sounds like the greatest movie of all time.
Possibly. But yeah, it is one of these like movies that, they just got every living.
It's like Live Aid, but for a movie.
Yeah.
And not a charity.
It was a charity for us, the horror fan.
Yeah.
But yeah, because darkness is falling. Sally and Franklin are again, like just... He is being the most annoying he could possibly be.
But this is great. It finally becomes great.
Yeah.
Because it's dark. And he's just, well, what if they don't come back? What are we going to do if they don't? Oh, let me do it worse. What are we going to do if they don't come back? That's kind of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, shh. Do you hear something? I hear something. I hear something over there. and then it is just immediate. And it's so good.
Yeah.
It's like finger licking fucking good.
Yeah.
Of Franklin being like, I think I hear something over there. And then it's just fucking Leatherface puts the tip of the chainsaw just in his guts. And he's like, help.
Yeah. How quick it all happens. I love the way that it's how it's lit.
It's like silhouetted.
Because they're in the middle of the woods at that point. Sally and Franklin trying to go, after the rest of their friends who keep disappearing off into these woods.
Yeah, they're just as confused as Leatherface.
Yeah. But the fact that it's like, Franklin has the only flashlight at that point. And so it's the way that light swings around and like not even perfectly hits Leatherface in the face.
Not
just like
immediately,
illuminates in this beautifully kind of shaky way of if you happened upon another person in the middle of the woods.
Well, if you happened upon a fucking giant.
Yes. Especially from like a wheelchair like height.
Yeah. But then it is so good. The amount of stabbing and swinging and just like, we don't see any of it because it's just silhouetted because of the spotlight. It is just silhouetted, but I mean, he has to hack him to pieces and it's awesome.
It is like, it's the most satisfying death.
I don't even mean that. I mean,
neither did I.
I mean, like, just the sheer brutality does so much character work for Leatherface. I agree with you. It's also great because immediately he's like, well, how come our friends are, I'm dying. And it's like, he's gone.
And like, I know that Sally is horrified at what's happening.
Sure.
Because they're walking along, they're looking for their friends who have disappeared for hours. And then all of a sudden this beast of a man comes out of the woods and murders her brother with a chainsaw very violently. But do you think there was part of her that was just like, oh my God, I'm finally free of him?
Oh, there has to be. It's why when she bursts out and she gets in the truck at the very end and she's like laughing her ass off.
That's her finally like,
it's because she sees his empty wheelchair like down in the road and she's like, I forgot about that. It's like, I lost my boyfriend, my best friend, and her boyfriend, but Franklin's also gone. And she also thought it was really funny that the hitchhiker, again, exploded.
Yeah.
When every inch of his skin and every bone in his body was run over by an individual wheel of an 18-wheeler.
At the end of everything, you got to look at the silver lining sometimes.
Yeah, she got to eat some people for free. That's the only silver lining I can think of. I'd love to eat a person.
Oh my God. Like a whole person?
In one bite.
Oh.
I want to grab you by your toe. I want to lift you up. I want to put you in my mouth and then go. And then it's just, I'm holding your skeleton.
Oh God. That's scary as hell.
Because it's spooky.
It is spooky. This is where we would get, if YouTube strikes us and we can't use the clip that we tried to, this is what we'd use here because it's just Leatherface chasing Sally in the woods for a while and she's screaming and he is revving that chainsaw.
This is my complaint about the movie is that there are at the end, at this third act, some of the most famous parts of this movie go for a little too long.
Yeah.
It's the forest chase is way too long.
And the fact that we kind of get two of them.
Right.
Because it's like it happens and she makes it to the Sawyer house. She runs upstairs. She sees Grandpa and Grandma, who are basically corpses.
Well, we assume they're both dead.
Yeah. And then she tries to leave and Leatherface has finally caught up to her and cut through the door to get inside. And then she runs upstairs and jumps out the window. And then we're back in the woods running through the dark again. And
it's a really good performance of both of theirs. He is such a good movie monster. She is such a, for kind of our cinematic, our first final girl. Yeah. She's so good. She nails the panic and her screaming is never shy of believable.
Yes.
She's wonderful. But she makes it back to the gas station where Drayton. What a weird name.
Yeah.
Creighton Duke.
Oh, that's a great name.
Drayton Sawyer.
From a terrible
Who wins in a fight? Creighton Duke from Jason Goes to Hell? It doesn't matter.
Literally anyone.
Kingpin from from Daredevil.
When he was a boy.
He smashed Creighton Duke. And she goes to Drayton and Drayton's like, no, don't worry. she's like, you have to call the cops. And he's like, there's no phone and there's no cops. So we're going to have to go out of town, but I'll take you. Let's go. And then instead of doing that, he knocks her the fuck out and he puts a bag over her head.
It's the most ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like he gets a broom and he just beats her with it. And then he literally does. Well, he leaves and he backs up the truck. And then he comes in and he's got this big burlap sack and a rope. And it's the most like,
It's Looney Tunes.
Looney Tunes.
Yeah,
Like, that's all I can say.
But then the other thing, because so he takes her, she's bound, she's bagged, and he puts her kind of in the floorboard of his passenger seat of this old piece of shit truck that he's driving.
Right.
Now, I'm of two minds of what he does here, his business. He has like this broom handle or like this little mini bat. It's like a stick.
Yeah.
Let's call it what it is. It's like a weird little stick. And he's driving and she's screaming and he looks down and he kind of starts to get annoyed, but also thinks it's funny because he's like laughing and then his face will flash with annoyance. And so it's like when you were a kid. I don't know. Did you have a lot of cousins?
Not as many as you.
Yeah, because you grow up with like little cousins that like it's just like you're at like a party or whatever, and like your little cousin Zach. If my little cousin Zach ever listens to this, sorry, but like
he does. He's a patron.
Oh, shout out next week. But you have people in your life like that, and it's just like you want to kind of poke them when no one's looking because it's like you've annoyed the fuck out of me.
Yeah,
like I don't want to hurt you, but like I want to poke you, like hard in the shoulder. He is just poking her as hard as he can with his fucking thing. And she's immediately screaming. And he's like, shut up, shut the fuck up. But then he's also laughing because he thinks it's funny.
Yeah.
And so you and I are laughing our asses off. I am like beside myself. I'm laughing so hard because his performance is so relatable and it's so funny. But it's also truly terrifying because he is a fucking lunatic.
Yeah. And it's the one person who she found who she thought might be able to help her.
And he thinks it's funny. Yep. He has her bound, gagged, and tied in a bag in his car, and he is hitting her with like a bat. And he is like he's got tears in his eyes. He's laughing so hard. And then that's pissing him off. And it's like, that's what I mean when I say that the movie and these performances do such a good job of conveying realism with insanity.
Yeah.
Because it's like, it's disturbing how fucking out of their minds every single member of this family is.
And in their own ways.
Yeah. The hitchhiker is this sadist who seems to revel in being the murderer. You have Drayton, who has like an identity crisis, who is both wanting to be kind and the harbinger and father-like, and then isn't capable of doing that because he is a rage-filled bipolar maniac who, as much as he says, well, I'm not a killer.
Right.
He is.
He has to facilitate the killings because otherwise they don't put bread on the table,
which is just an excuse. And then Leatherface is this poor, despicable monster who is sympathetic in some ways, but at the other side of that, he butchers human beings for food.
Yes.
So like, it's horrifying. And the worst part of this is the hitchhiker comes back. And he's doing like a little dance. Oh, God. But then you have the funniest thing in the world. Drayton, we don't know if he's supposed to be their older brother or their father.
The way that it was apparently written is that they are brothers. They are three brothers. But he is considerably older than them.
And acts like their father.
And the way that he refers to whenever he is like reprimanding the hitchhiker, he refers to Leatherface as your brother, meaning the hitchhiker's brother. And the way that it's phrased, it always comes off as like, well, wouldn't you say our brother if he was our brother? Now, so I think that changed at some point.
Yeah, I think that it's perfectly fine to assume that he is the father of these two boys.
Because of the way that he beats them.
Because of the way he beats them. And it's the thing of Leatherface is this massive monster who we have now watched murder 4 people. And he's like, he's looking at him and he's like, "Did you let any of them get away?" And Leatherface, like, he's wearing the pretty, like, or the old lady face.
Yeah.
And he's being like this cowering, sniveling, like little battered housewife.
And he is twice Drayton's size.
Yeah. And it's the saddest thing in the world. And it's like, "Did you let any of them get away?" And he's like, And
he like points to different things in the room of like, "No, I got her over here, and here's Franklin's chair, and here's the other guy."
And it's like, "Well, did you do?" I can't remember the specifics, but Drayton is like, "Well, did you do this?" Leatherface is like, "No, I didn't. You know, non-verbally." And he looks at him, and he's like, Drayton is so angry, but he doesn't have a reason to be. And he's like, well, look at what you did to this damn door. And he starts, but that damn door is the funniest part of this whole movie.
It is my favorite line in the entire film. The hitchhiker, Drayton picks up the hitchhiker, and they drive the rest of the way home. And then whenever they get there, he's like hitting the hitchhiker, because this is where it's revealed that he's the one who has desecrated the corpses and the things from the graveyard from the beginning.
You stay away from that graveyard. I told you, he's beating the shit out of him with this little stick.
Yeah. And so whenever they make it back, he's just like, "Well, look at what your brother did to the damn door."
To the damn door.
It's my favorite thing ever. Followed by that moment of, that same thing of like, I have nothing. Technically, you haven't done anything wrong. You did everything I asked you to do.
But I am so psychopathic that the rage,
I've ramped to this level of rage, and I have to now. I can't back down.
Right. And so it's the door, and then poor little Leatherface. Like, this is the problem, is that it's not, but he is the poor little baby. He's just getting his ass kicked, and he's like crying, wearing the skin of another human being as a mask.
You know, like you do.
Yeah, the rest of this movie is a goddamn fever dream. The rest of this movie is a nightmare to witness for the first time.
Yeah. And it, because this is like, they end up bringing down Grandpa from the upstairs room. And this is an old man who, when Sally came in originally, appeared to be a corpse.
But there is almost a simulacrum of life left in his body. And the two big takeaways from this are, Drayton at the gas station kind of explains this a bit, and it's kind of reaffirmed here, that energy and gas prices for so long now have been so unaffordable that the Sawyer boys, to sustain life for themselves and to put food on the table, now the food that they put on the table are tourists, are road trippers, are the cars that we saw earlier. They cut them, they kill them, they cut them, they store them, and they eat them. And it's truly horrific, because as she kind of comes to and is tied to this fucking chair, there is like plates of barbecue on the table.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's disgusting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Cause she's there for dinner for them, this family dinner. Whenever they first bring Grandpa down, this is where they cut her finger, and they have Grandpa then just suck the blood out of her finger, which I love. He has this like little happy dance that he does, like as he's like, it's re-energizing him, I guess.
So is he a vampire?
I don't know.
This is what I mean. Is he James Woods from John Carpenter's Vampires?
Yeah, he probably is.
That's pretty cool, man. Because it's vampires with a Z.
That's how you know it's cool. It's 90s cool. Grandpa Sawyer is played by John Dugan. He would return in Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. He is in the 2007 horror film Monstrosity. He is also in Butcher Boys and Texas Chainsaw 3D. Apparently, after getting into that old age makeup, John Dugan decided that he did not ever want to go through that process again, meaning that all of his scenes had to be filmed in the same session before he would take that makeup off, which meant that the entire process took about 36 hours, 5 of which was putting the makeup on, then shooting during the brutal summer heat wave, over 100-degree weather. A large portion of that spent filming the dinner scene, obviously, because that's basically the main scene he's in, wearing the heavy suit and necktie, sitting in a room filled with dead animals and rotting food with no air conditioning or electric fans. Everyone basically talks about this, saying that, you know, they recalled the stench from the rotting food and people's own body odor from working how we've already described was so terrible that some of the crew members either passed out or they'd get sick from the smell. They would like set for a take. They would shoot said take. As soon as they were done, they would stop the camera. They would run outside. They would vomit and they would come back inside and do the next setup.
That's disgusting.
Just over and over and over again. Apparently, Edward Neal, who played the hitchhiker, he claimed that, quote, filming that scene was the worst time of my life. And I had been in Vietnam with people trying to kill me. So I guess that shows how bad it was.
Jesus Christ. Well, and you know what's funny is that if you really want a very good representation of how awful it would be, Sally basically spends the next 10 minutes of our movie screaming.
Yes.
And she has these, you know, you pointed this out to me in our rewatch. She has these ridiculously bright eyes.
Yes. The green of those eyes is mesmerizing.
Well, they look fake. They look like marbles.
Yeah.
And I mean, her eyes are so wide and so bloodshot, and she just scans the room. Because at this point, what is happening is the family is all like sort of arguing about how to kill her, and she's put together what is on these plates, and you know, it's
what is going to happen to her,
and it stinks, and it's horrific, and there's animal bones. There's a lamp. This is where the Dennis Reynolds line comes in, because she's like, "You made a lamp out of human skin?" And he's like, "No, I didn't do that. You haven't thought of the smell, you bitch." So I told you we would get back to it, but it is the pure abject horror on her face, and it is the equivalent of in the Ty West movie Pearl, at the end of that movie, where her face just kind of holds at the audience. That's what this reminds me of. Yeah. She's just screaming and her eyes are rolling and there's like flecks of makeup on her eyes and just, it's so disgusting, and her skin is already just so sweaty and like just dark pocked, and it's just man, everything about it is you want to dive into a pool of acid to get the gross off your skin.
Yeah, and then at the same time, like, this is where, to me, on the other side of things, is like, this is where I think that the cinematography really jumps into like another level. Yeah, because you get these like super extreme angles of all different things around the room. Well, these extreme close-ups of like her face and her eyes especially, and her like screaming mouth.
It's the visual storytelling of this is the best that they can do to get the audience to experience the, you know,
mental break.
Yeah. And it works.
It's the way that things are cut. And it's like, we're just sitting on, it's back to back to back. It's jump cuts of like her face, different angles of it, different parts of it, whatever. And it shouldn't work, but it almost gets experimental because we are losing our minds along with her.
Well, it reminds me, you know, in the beginning, you've got the footage where it'll just jump into the slaughterhouse, or it jumps to this, and it's very documentarian. And it's like, well, we're going to do the same thing, but now we're not referencing anything real. Now, the only thing that we have visually to reference is more of the same. That's all there's left. And it's bleak. It's traumatic. It's everything you want from a movie that tells this kind of story.
Right.
I mean, and God, she's so good. They're all so good because they're all laughing, and like the hitchhiker and Leatherface are like laughing. Leatherface has this horrifying laugh behind his mask, and they're both laughing and pointing and teasing and fucking with her, and they're and Drayton is just like laughing along with them and like looking around, but then he gets angry and he's like, "All right, sit down, shut the fuck up," and it's like he's just as crazy.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good.
It is.
But then they decide that the way they're going to kill her is like the old slaughterhouse. They're going to have Grandpa take this hammer because he used to be the best.
The hammer's the best. It's the better best. That way. They die better that way.
Well, and the grandpa was the best at doing that. And he's going to kill her.
Yeah. What is the line that Drayton says? He nearly did 60 in 5 minutes before, And the only reason he couldn't is
like
because
the pull and chain gang
couldn't get the beeves out of the way fast enough.
Yeah. Now, beeve apparently means dead cow body, not vagina. I just assume that's what it meant.
In this moment, at least.
Yeah. I hate, and it's funny because the word is so like, you know, like 80s humor synonymous with that now. But thinking about that during the watching of this scene is truly like a psychosomatic mindfuck. It was terrible.
You have the strangest boner? Is that what you're saying?
No, it's that my dick doesn't work anymore.
Oh my God.
Sorry,
you
everyone.
heard it here, folks.
No.
Please subscribe to our Patreon.
Time for the love of God, cut that out.
To save Bean's cock.
Beans Macaco. Oh, fuck. Anyway, yeah. So they've given Grandpa, who is this ancient fucking
living corpse,
like Oddfellow corpse, they've given him a hammer. And they're like, get her. And she's screaming, and they have her head over a bucket. Eventually, in the lunacy and the madness of this, she finds this opportunity. She lives by pure luck.
Oh, yeah.
Because they forget about her for a minute because they're so invested. All three of those psycho fucking dudes are invested in having the old man be the one to get her.
Yeah. But whenever he misses several times, the hitchhiker's like, I can do it. I like, because, you know, like in our clip, like I'm the killer.
Yeah.
He loves it. He lives off of that. And so he does. For a moment, he like tries to get the hammer from Grandpa, and she takes that moment. That's all she needs.
She turns and she goes, Sally Jenkins. And she dives out of the fucking window in an excellent looking stunt.
Yes. Now, what's great about that stunt
is that it was a real glass window that she jumped out of? Because that's what I expect from this movie.
So earlier in the movie, when she first makes it to the Sawyer house, she runs upstairs. She runs back downstairs. Leatherface is there. She runs up. She jumps out of a second story window. This is her jumping out of the first story window. They had a stunt double do the actual leap through the glass from the inside of the house out. And then on the reverse shot, you see her jump down into frame to then run out into the yard. But she just did that off of like probably an apple crate or something, just behind the camera. The whole point of that was so that she wouldn't hurt herself. The actress hurt her ankle, like twisted her ankle in that tiny little jump down in front of the camera. So then the limp that she has for the remainder of this movie is real.
I believe that. Because it's convincing. This is another moment where the hitchhiker really makes me like uncomfortable.
Yeah,
and
your skin
bothers
crawl.
me.
Because it is the absolute craziest thing I've ever seen, to chase a person and just randomly slash at them with a razor.
Because he's not grabbing her. He's not stopping her.
Nope.
He's just laughing and running like a poorly trained dog does on a leash in front of you. And it's just like, it's terrifying. And then you hear the fucking chainsaw start.
Yeah.
And Leatherface is now moving. I'm going to kind of get through this a bit quick just to get to the end of the discussion because it's all pretty rapid fire. An 18-wheeler shows up.
Right.
Now, I don't know if I've said this before, but it absolutely pulverizes the hitchhiker. It takes him from a living, thinking, psychotic, sure, but a living, breathing, thinking human and turns him into a series of red streaks across the hot Texas pavement.
You think there's any, like, is there meat? Is that meat?
Oh, he's a bucket of meat.
Okay.
Spread long and wide.
His dad's going to scrape him up off that asphalt and serve him to the neighbors.
Scrape him off the asphalt and use him as set decor. Ew. And then the other thing that happens is that the truck... Okay, so this also reminds me of Always Sunny. God damn it. In an episode of Always Sunny in Philadelphia, the gang is split into two groups. Unbeknownst to them, there is a third party, which is Dee, who is at this Italian restaurant to eat by herself. Now, this might ring familiar to our fans because we talked about this scene in Nightmare on Elm Street 3 Dream Warrior. Because the actor who in that film plays Kincaid is in this episode of Always Sunny because he says, the waiter walks up. Dee has lied and has said that she is like a CIA agent or something. and to this man so that she doesn't have to sit at the restaurant alone.
Right.
And the waiter walks up and says, everything okay? And the guy who plays Kincaid turns and goes, no, everything's not okay. Shit is going down. And I love that line, and it lives rent-free in my head. And that's all I could think when the truck driver gets out of the truck and is like, what's going on? And then Leatherface rounds the corner with a revving chainsaw. And he's just like, oh, shit.
There's no hesitation. He turns and runs the other way. And back into the cab.
It's like a Benny Hill chase. Yeah. And then, why he doesn't just start the truck and drive away, but he doesn't. He's like, quick, let's get out the other side. Yeah. So they're running around again.
Right. And because Leatherface like tries to cut through the door of the thing. It doesn't really work.
It's a steel door.
Right. And so whenever they climb out, then he follows them around. And then they get to the past the trailer. Mm-hmm. And the truck driver, who has no speaking lines,
none,
he has grabbed a giant wrench from the floorboards before he left the cab, and he chucks it at Leatherface, hitting him in the face. Mm-hmm. His leather face.
Yeah, it's like if I hit you in your eyes, you could say which eyes, 4 eyes. And it's like Leatherface. Right. It's like which face, Leatherface.
Right. And then this is where Leatherface. We finally get to see Chainsaw seemingly hit some actual flesh.
Yeah, except it's his.
Yeah.
It falls and it cuts his leg. And his scream makes me so sad. Mm-hmm. He's like, oh, you made the joke. Oh, God, and it was so funny. You made the joke that the chainsaw cuts his leg open. He's like, oh, God, is this what I've been doing to people? I got to change my ways.
Yeah.
It was my brother dad's fault.
Yeah. From what I know of how this like stunt was done is he had like a metal plate that they had underneath the pants on his leg. And then they had, I don't know, some kind of like cut of pork or,
something rotten and disgusting, I'm sure.
Yeah. And, because that's the other thing that I think I've read that story before where they had purchased or gotten all of this like meat from a slaughterhouse to use during the dinner scene. Mm-hmm. And they put it like they, got it the day before. They put it in the, kitchen or whatever of this house. Mm-hmm. They had stored it in the freezer and then the freezer didn't work. And so all of that meat spoiled overnight. And they were like, we've already spent the money. We have to use it. So that's why they're literally using just rotten meat.
Yeah, that's what happens when your movie has a $30,000 budget. That's what happens when your movie has a $40 budget.
But they have that meat, and so they drop the blade of the chainsaw on it, and it starts cutting it. But then the blade caused such friction on the metal plate that it heated up, and so Gunnar thought that he was actually being cut. So he is kind of screaming for real for a bit there.
God damn.
But,
listen, if the suffering and torture of all these people is what it takes to have this movie the way it is, I do think it's worth it because I'll never have to meet these people because a lot of them, most of them, almost all of them are dead.
A lot of them have passed away.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. Specifically, I mean, Tobe Hooper and, it's a shame that they're all gone. Tobe Hooper died of cancer, right?
I believe so.
Which is, fuck cancer. For those of you who don't know, the Third Channel podcast does not stand cancer.
Yeah, we're not a fan of it.
No, we hate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let it be known.
This is coming off as a joke, but obviously not.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. We've all been affected by it.
So then a truck pulls up, another truck.
Yeah, like a pickup truck.
Yeah. Sally climbs into the bed and it takes off. Because it's at first the guy's like, what's going on? And she's like, fucking go. And so the truck's driving and then she just breaks into like, maniacal laughter at her. Oh my God, I made it. And it's like her brain can't deal with any of the grief. It's just that tickle of relief and her, she starts to lose it. And Leatherface throws what is now kind of referred to as the tantrum. I mean, in fucking Dead by Daylight, he's a character, obviously, in Dead by Daylight. That is an ability of his, is to throw a tantrum, which is you use your chainsaw, and if you miss and don't hit them, he freaks the fuck out, and you don't control him for a little bit. And it's really an interesting way to have done that.
Apparently, they had come up with that originally whenever they were shooting the scene where Sally makes it, they're chasing through the woods and then she makes it to the gas station. Leatherface just kind of disappears off the right side of the screen for a bit. And then it's kind of like, well, where did he go? Why did he just stop chasing her? And apparently, originally, Tobe had Gunnar just like, I want you to just go over here and just like freak out with that chainsaw, like in the parking lot. And they shot a sequence of him doing that, and then they cut it for whatever reason.
I think that almost works for the benefit. I think seeing it here now has more weight to it. Now, this is the funniest part of the movie to me. It's right here at the very end. So he freaks out. He does his, little dance.
Yeah, his chainsaw dance.
Yeah. Now, what I will say about the chainsaw dance is I don't think that's funny. I think it's dramatic.
Yeah.
I think it's weightful. I think
it's beautifully lit by this golden hour sunrise.
And it is almost like an interpretive dance. And it's wonderful. The funniest part is that the camera then stops rolling, and that's the end of our movie.
Right. Hard cut to credits.
We have to assume that Leatherface turns around and just goes and kills that truck driver.
Yeah.
He is running the opposite direction.
He's just running.
Down a road, and Leatherface freaks out. He's like, man, I really wanted to kill her. All right, well, I'm going to kill you.
Yeah.
The other funny thing is that fucking Drayton is like, he's outside. He's like watching it all go down, and then he sees his fucking son get obliterated by this 18-wheeler. He's like, oh, fuck that. I'm going inside. He's like, I'll cook him. If the dumb one picks him up, I'll cook him. Fucking Bubba. They call him Bubba and Leatherface in this, I believe. Or do they call him Bubba, or is that something from a later chapter?
I feel like that comes in with part 2.
Because weirdly, they call him Leatherface.
I don't know that they do.
Yeah, fucking the hitchhiker says something, I can't remember the line, but it's something like, yeah, get him, Leatherface, or like, you tell Leatherface, and they call him Leatherface, which is just, it's interesting because, Pinhead, Lobden, a lot of these characters, their names are either given by fans or later colloquially, but within the very first movie, this character Leatherface, with such a name that is so ubiquitous and so synonymous with this genre of horror, is given immediately, and I really like that, especially in a movie where one of your other characters, his brother, is not named at all. What a movie, dude.
It is pretty incredible.
It's like the only thing that I have to say that's negative about it is what some movies only have that's positive, which is they have really compelling and interesting chase sequences in this movie. They're just a little they become a little disinteresting because you are limited by your set. Yeah. You are in the woods in Texas. You're in like an Amarillo, Texas. There's nothing to look at. But even that, it's like, Sally's performance is so fucking wonderful. Yeah. And he is so terrifying that it just works.
Yeah. Even in as simple as it all is, it is terrifying. And it's because I think both of their performances just kind of, they sell it 100%.
3 weeks in a row, huh? Because we had Hellraiser 2022. And then we had Event Horizon, which is great. And now this, one of the greatest of all times.
Yeah.
And this franchise, go ahead and step way out front of this. This franchise does not hold up to its first entry.
No.
In weird ways, some of them are fun.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this is as good as it gets, folks. Like, by a lot.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just that, like, this is such a lightning in a bottle of, like, perfection that I don't know that there's ever a way that you could do it again.
No, because the thing is that, there's I don't know if this is a real factor, if this is just like a bit, but, they say that people who get struck by lightning increase their chances of being struck by lightning again. And it's like, every single person who's been struck by the lightning of this movie knows how absolutely painful and horrible it was to go through this process. So none of them are willing to get struck by lightning again. Yeah, pretty much. You don't have a lot of carryover. But yeah, we'll revisit it next week. And I look forward to that. It's a very different film. Very different. What's ironic in a lot of ways, wink, is that it is it's as big, like, to me, it's as big a departure as Nightmare on Elm Street to Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Yeah. Because they're very different movies. Yeah, I would agree there. Let me ask you this, and I feel like this is an obvious answer, but it's part of the rubric of our show. Derek, do you recommend the Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I cannot recommend it enough. Yeah.
It is like I said off the top, it is one of the most important films of all time for like independent like film cinema. It is one of the most important horror films of all time. It not single-handedly, but it definitely like kicked off with Black Christmas a whole subgenre of what we started this show talking about.
Yeah. We're about to get Evil Dead Burn here soon. And that is in a lot of ways thanks to this movie. Nobody had pushed the envelope the way that this movie had. So you wouldn't get the disgusting gore. You wouldn't get the stories about Ash's shirt being so covered in fake blood and sweat that it solidified overnight like Gunner's shirts did. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree.
And it's, I don't know. It's fascinating. It's this low of a budget, this like new to filmmaking, to acting, to whatever that this whole group of people are, and they made this thing that is such a lasting like testament of its time in like the things that, whether purposefully or not purposefully, issues that he was tackling with this film, and the way that it's shot and kind of what it's representing in all of the political turmoil and the Vietnam War, you know, coming to an end and things like that. It's, I don't know. It's just fascinating.
So many heady topics being discussed and touched in such a, almost like a bottle episode of a movie.
Yep.
The place takes place all within like a square mile of itself.
Yeah. And in like a 24-hour window is all you get. But yeah, I can't say enough good things. Joe Bob Briggs has written, I mean, books on the subject of this film. It changed everything. And I
mean, it's the reason we do this show.
Yeah.
It is because for all of the hillbilliness of this movie that I don't like, I resonate with. Okay. Yes.
Do you also recommend?
Yeah, I do. Big time. I recommend the fuck out of this movie. I tend to go more for like the quiet suburbia, which I think is funny because you like this movie. I think this movie scotias out Halloween for you, where Halloween scotias out this movie for me.
Yeah.
And I think the reason is because you grew up in a much more rural part of this state with a lot more distance in between people's houses than I did, where I grew up in cookie cutter suburbia.
Yeah.
And so the horror of Halloween is much more, you know, close to home with me. But I also live in the deep fucking South. I have no hardship understanding why this movie is terrifying. And boy, is it fucking terrifying. It sits with me for a while. And yeah, we can't recommend this one enough, honestly. It also feels good because as we start this franchise, we kind of close the chapter on like we've done the thing that we set out to do. We've now talked about the big four.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we talked about obviously the Friday the 13th part 2 with it being Jason's first appearance. We've talked about Michael's first appearance, Freddy's first appearance, now Leatherface. Then you know, what's funny is my personal, we've also Candyman and Ghostface and Chucky. It's the amount of franchises we've kicked off, man. It's like, I'm very happy to be in this one, but this one does kind of feel like the end of the beginning of our show where it's like, well, this is the end of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Like the classics, you know what I mean?
And like in our original watch order, these technically we watched these before we got to Leprechaun or Candyman. And originally I had them more structured, making the you know, the rundown of order that we were going to do these episodes. And I felt like I needed to shift them. These are summer movies.
Yeah.
This is a movie that takes place right off the top. The you know, the crawl off the top of this that introduces the whole thing. The events of this movie take place over October 18th of 74, I believe. And it's one of those things where, to me, in life, you know, Halloween Horror Nights, we started this whole conversation off today.
Yeah.
Is now it runs the entire length of both the month of September and October.
Usually the last week of August, the first week of November. So it's 2.5 months. Yeah.
And so, people always have that argument of like, oh, well, when does, spooky season start for you? People who like love horror, love spooky stuff. And it's like, to me, the true start of spooky season is August 18th.
Okay. Yeah, that's interesting. I would say the start of spooky season for me is, obviously it ends with that first weekend of November. And it starts again with me on Black Friday because of such hit films as Krampus and Thanksgiving. I would say that now that we've done all these, the horror Mount Rushmore, and we've kind of, we've circled the square. You know what I mean? We've finished the big. I think we're done with the show.
Oh, we're just gonna wrap up?
Yeah. What I would say is at this point, I think we're good to tear it all down.
Thanks for tuning into the Third Channel podcast. Please, if you have the time, rate, review, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or any of your favorite podcast apps. You can follow us on social media at Third Channel Podcast, and you can find me online at thatdrosenberg. You can also reach out to us at thirdchannelpodcast@gmail.com, where we check every message we swear. Third Channel is hosted by PJ Minette and Derek Rosenberg. Theme song and audio engineering by Fly Guy Ty. The logo designed by Belle DeVelco. Episode artwork by Nathan Walkington. Keep it tuned right here to the Third Channel for all things horror. And remember, don't touch that dial.
Egg salad and eggs.